welcome to Level Up Your Inner Power. More than a podcast, it's an energetic frequency. I'm Juliet Martine.
And I'm Danielle Flood. And today we're diving into the inner power of confidence, that magnetic force that helps you trust yourself, back yourself, and move through life with certainty. Confidence isn't something that magically appears when you finally feel ready. It's something you build moment by moment by showing up for yourself and doing the scary things, even when you're not sure that you can. Today, we're going to explore how to build that trust in yourself, how to back yourself fully, and how to step into that quiet, unshakable confidence that says, I've got this. So take a deep breath, settle in, because this one's going to feel really good.
Last week, we were exploring the inner power of courage and how courage is that power we need to activate to overcome the energy of fear, right? And if you haven't listened to the episode yet, make sure you add it to your playlist right now so you listen to it up next.
Absolutely.
This week, we're actually leaning into the energy of confidence, which is different to the energy of courage, even though you might think it's the same things. And it's easy to think that if you have courage, then you also have confidence as well. But they're actually quite different qualities or energies we need to activate if we want to really level up our inner power and live our full potential, which is what we're all about here at LUYIP. So I have to say that self-confidence, or more to the point, the lack of self-confidence, is one of the most common things I hear people say to me. You know, I wish I was like that person who's really confident.
Yeah.
I wish I had more confidence. I want to feel more confident within myself. I really lack self-confidence and it's holding me back in life. And, you know, if only I was more confident in myself, I'd know I'd be able to do the things that I really want to do, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I hear this all the time too. That whole, if only I was more confident, then I'd speak up in meetings and I'd start my own business. I'd say yes to that opportunity, or, oh my God, I'd wear that outfit that I really want to, or go to that event on my own and finally put myself out there and stop holding myself back and playing small in life. I mean, we hear it all the time, right? So it's really begs the question of, what does confidence mean to you? If you were a more confident version of yourself, what would that look like?
Great question.
To me, confidence isn't something you magically get once life is easier. It's not something that just drops out of the sky when you've earned it, right? Confidence is something that you build because it's a real inside job. It's built one choice, one moment, one courageous action at a time. And most of the time, you don't feel confident first. You act first, and then the confidence actually follows.
So true.
Yeah, and I think, Juliet, a lot of us get stuck waiting for confidence to just show up before we do the thing that we want to do. But energetically speaking, that's doing things backwards, right?
Yeah, wrong way around.
It is the wrong way around because confidence is actually created in the doing. It's created in the showing up, in proving to yourself that you can handle it, in keeping the promises you make for yourself, to yourself. And it doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be these big, scary leaps. You can actually build confidence through small, consistent reps. You start small, you keep going, and you watch yourself get stronger and more confident with every step you take.
So true. I think for a lot of people, confidence is kind of like this superpower we wish we had more of, but we don't know how to get it. You know, if I could just go to Coles or Woolies and get it off the shelf.
Absolutely. Yes, for sure.
I think it'd be sold out in minutes. You know, if only I was more confident, then nothing would stop me. You know, I'd be bold. I'd speak up. I'd take more chances and risks in life. I'd put myself forward and I'd be more seen and more heard. And I'd go for the things that I really want. You know, I'd put up that dating profile on an app without hesitating. You know, I'd ask that person I really like out on a date without holding myself back. I'd step into that meeting and have that challenging conversation without avoiding it or feeling worried. Or, you know, I'd speak my truth more. I'd go out there and try new things. You know, it takes confidence to try new things, to travel to new places or change careers or start that business that you're passionate about, or even, you know, to go and try a new hobby, go to an art class and with a bunch of strangers. It takes confidence to do that.
It sure does.
If I could only get that off the supermarket shelf at Woolies or Coles, then, you know, I'd feel great about myself when I show up at work and in the gym and in the bedroom and in social situations. You know, I'd be making more friends in life and I'd be putting myself out there and you know, people would want to be around me because, you know, people who are confident, they kind of have this charisma. Have you noticed that?
They sure do. Oh, my gosh, yeah, absolutely they do.
Yeah, you can feel it when they walk in the room. It's this attractive, magnetic energy that confident people have. And I'm not talking about that false, big, you know, bolshy, ego-driven confidence where someone walks in the room and you can tell their chest is puffed out and they're really full of themselves in an egotistical way. I'm talking about that really warm, authentic energy where someone's really comfortable in their own skin.
Yeah.
And they're not holding energy back because they're confident in who they are as a person. And, you know, when we have that natural state of confidence, we're not needing to hide anything. You know, there's an honesty to us that actually gives other people confidence that we're okay, we're a safe person to be around, that we have a confidence in our abilities and we're able to handle any situation. And I think that's the reason why it's so attractive, because it gives us a quiet sense of calm and certainty, knowing that if we're with this person who's naturally confident, we're going to be okay as well, because together we're going to be able to handle whatever's going on. So you know, hanging around confident people feels great.
Yeah, it does. And it's a contagious type of energy, that confidence in people. And as you said, they don't have to be ego-driven. It's just this energy about them that's so confident, and you just want to be around them and you just don't want to leave them, right? And, oh, my God, this makes me think about what I've just experienced this last weekend, Juliet. And as you know, and for those that are listening or have checked out our socials, we actually have just done our second Luyip and Heiko hiking collaboration.
Whoop,
and
whoop,
I
whoop,
just...
whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. We love Heiko Hiking. The guys at Heiko Hiking are awesome. If you haven't followed them yet on socials, please do, at Heiko Hiking.
Yeah.
They are awesome. But this one, when we're talking about confidence, we're talking about courage, we needed to tap into all of those inner powers, Juliet. It was epic. Epic.
Just a stroll in the park, was it, Danielle?
Oh, my gosh. So for those that know the Cathedral Ranges hike, and if you know it, you know what I'm talking about. You know how challenging this one is. It's a grade 5 hike. Now, Juliet, I didn't know what that meant. So grade 5 hike is like the hardest hike you can do before you have ropes on, like for rock climbing. That's how hard. And Cathedral Ranges is the hardest hike that you can do in Victoria without ropes.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I just say yes. You know me. I say yes. And this time I recruited people from work who trusted and believed in me. And they're like, yeah, we'll do it. I'm like, yeah, it's just a hike. I can tell you right now, we had to tap into that macro, micro, and spiritual courage that we talked about in previous episodes. We had to use all three. Oh, my gosh, it was insane. So I'll take on the journey. The first 4 kilometres was this steady incline. So we're like, okay, this is fine. There was a bit of an incline. It was a bit challenging, but, you know, we were all feeling good. We're like, this is great. It was a wet day. You know, it was a bit slippery, but it was fine. It was a little light rain, so that's okay. We can get through this. And then, we go through this 4Ks and we turn this corner, and then we came face to face with this vertical rock wall. And when I say vertical, I'm like, it is vertical, as straight as a vertical can be.
God.
And we were all standing there going, no, we can't climb up that wall.
Where are the stairs?
It's impossible. We're going to go another way. We're just here to just take some photos here and then we're going to go away. And my first thought was, there is absolutely no way that we're going to do that. Like, there's absolutely no way. And I was the only one that thought that. So I looked around at everyone in the group and, because I'm there as the loop activator of energy. And so I'm thinking, I can't freak out, right? And so I could feel everyone's energy in the group shift. It's where the fear crept in, doubt started whispering, and there was 2 people on that hike that were absolutely petrified of heights. Like,
oh, wow.
I'm telling you, their face turned white. They were trembling. It's like when they saw that rock face, the fear that you could see in their face was crazy. And to be honest, it was on everyone's faces, and it was on all of our faces. And I felt the fear rising in me too. But I tell you that there was this magic that happened. And when we talk about confidence, and I'll tell you why it was quite magical what happened. So Con and Halethi, who were our hiking guides, they just stood there calm and steady and confident. And they didn't rush us. They didn't force us to do anything. They just held space and they asked us the question, so we're going to climb this, right, guys? And they were so confident in the way that they said it. And then the next thing that they said was, you guys can do this. You guys can do it. We're going to do it. And something about their confidence just started to spark our own confidence. It didn't erase the fear, but it gave us just enough courage to take the first step. And that's all it took. One rock at a time, and then another, and then another. We all went up individually, and I'm not going to lie, it was terrifying. And my heart was pounding the whole way up, but we just kept going. We kept going together. And the beautiful thing about it was that we were all supporting each other. We were all cheering each other on. And when we all realised that we did it and we reached that top, even the 2 that were absolutely petrified of heights, the feeling, I can't tell you, it was actually indescribable. We were all high-fiving each other and we were all so damn proud of ourselves and of each other. And we felt so much more confident in our abilities to achieve the things that we just thought were absolutely impossible. Like, it was just a beautiful thing. Really was. And confidence really did step in, and it was like what you were saying earlier, like it just takes one person to be confident, that magnetic energy of confidence, which in this case was Con and Halethi. Like it helped us get through it. It helped build our confidence as well. So it was amazing. These hikes are really, really special and magical, but I cannot leave the story there, Juliet.
There's more.
I have to tell you a story, which is quite funny, and we'll probably have to cut it because I'll be laughing so much. But so on the way driving, because it's about an hour and a half out of Melbourne, so we're driving up there. So in the car, I had my 3 work colleagues with me, and one of them was Simon. So Simon was one of the guys who's petrified of heights. Didn't know this until we got to the actual rock face. We didn't know. And we were on the way there, we were talking about spirit animals, what are our spirit animals? So we started looking up what spirit animals were and all this sort of stuff. And then Simon said, I think my spirit animal is a deer. And we're like, okay, cool. Because it's got all these qualities a deer has. Simon sort of lent into that, and he's like, that's who I am. And I'm like, yeah, great.
Nice.
And then we're driving down this road. And
she's losing it.
There's a dead deer on the side of the road with its head. It was beheaded deer on the side of the road. And we were like, oh my God, is this an omen? Like, are you going to die on this hike?
Oh my God.
And so when we got to that rock face, I was thinking, please do not channel your spirit animal of the deer. do not channel the spirit animal of the deer.
Oh my God. Maybe it was, that spirit animal he needed to let go of and embrace a new spirit animal like goat or, something else.
I tell you, it was hilarious. And you know what? And that's the thing. You need to have that humor. Sometimes that humor really levels up that confidence within us, levels up the inner power of confidence, because it could have gone either way. With that deer, the head beheaded off it, we were just like, oh my God, we're going to die. But then we were like, no, it's so funny. And then you still have the confidence to do it. But it was very funny. But we all survived. We all had.
And you've all grown through it by the sounds of it. Like you came away feeling really totally empowered and enlivened and, oh my gosh.
Yeah, and with the confidence, I tell you, I speak for myself, but I can also speak on behalf of everyone else then on that hike. Like the confidence that it took to do that, I now know that I can do anything, because there were moments where I questioned my life choices on that hike. But I had the confidence because I had the confidence from Con and Halifi to really, they believed in us, and that gave me the confidence to believe in myself. And now I have the confidence in the fact that, gosh, if I can do that, God knows what else I can do. Like it was really so powerful, so powerful.
Such a great example because, that confidence was, as you said, contagious. And laughter is such good medicine in those situations because, when we start to lose our confidence, we're often taking things really seriously. And so if we can have a laugh about it, which we do a lot on this podcast, it helps.
All the time.
Helps us to get through. And, here's the thing. As you're listening, you might think, you're lacking in self-confidence at times, or you're not a very naturally confident person in your nature. But self-confidence is actually our natural state of being if we stop doing one specific thing that tends to get in the way of our self-confidence. And that thing is doubting ourselves.
Yeah.
When we doubt ourselves, it kind of cuts off our natural, innate state of confidence.
So true.
Yeah, most people would say I'm quite a confident person, and I guess from the outside looking in, it would appear that I'm a really confident person, but I will let you into what's going on the inside. I don't actually feel like extra confident. I also don't feel like I'm lacking confidence either. It's not really this quality as much as it is our natural state of being when we're not doubting ourselves. So I kind of, and it can be annoying for people at times, but I kind of lack self-doubt. Maybe I should have more self-doubt.
No, you should not have more self-doubt. No, I would not recommend that at all.
No, because, every time we doubt ourselves, we kind of kneecap our inner sense of confidence and we question whether or not we can do the things we want to do and the things that we'd like to be able to do. And if only we had more confidence in ourselves, then we'd do them. But that's kind of like a catch-22.
Yeah, it sure is.
In truth, it's the habit so many of us have of doubting ourselves, of getting caught up in self-doubt and that pattern that sabotages our natural self-confidence that then causes us to feel like we're not capable enough in whatever ways to put ourselves out there and do the things that we want to do and be the person that we aspire to be.
For sure.
I really want us to lean into that energy of self-doubt more and to think about, when you're doubting yourself, what is it that you're actually doubting?
Interesting question.
What is it that you're doubting? Yeah, most of the time we're doubting our ability or our capability to do whatever it is we're wanting to do, because of a fear of failure or looking foolish or, whatever the stories are that are rolling around inside our head that are telling us that we're not good enough in whatever ways. And there's no way I could possibly be capable enough to do the things that I'm thinking of, wanting to do. And the difference in the two energies of feeling confident within yourself or doubting your abilities actually comes down to one simple point, whether you think you can or whether you think you can't.
Yeah.
If you think you can, then you're in your natural state of self-confidence. But the moment you think you can't, the energy of self-doubt has kicked in, and that's the energy that you're in.
Yeah, and that reminds me of that. I remember it was years ago, and I saw this quote. I was working in a conference centre or whatever, and there was this quote on the wall it was a Henry Ford quote that said, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. And it's so true, because if you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you can't. And so whether we're saying to ourselves, oh, yeah, I can do this, it means the inner power of your confident self is fully switched on and activated. But when you find yourself saying, oh, no, I can't do this. Oh, there's no way I can do this. That's when the energy of self-doubt has crept in and is sabotaging your self-confidence in ways that it's now holding you prisoner and preventing you from stepping forward to do the things that you want in your life, right?
Yeah, exactly. And, here's the thing. Fight for your limitations and they're yours.
Yep.
Whatever you reaffirm for yourself becomes your inner truth and your lived reality. So if I tell myself I can't, then that will become true for me. And it doesn't mean it's actually true. It simply means it becomes my inner truth and my outer reality because I make it so, energetically.
Yes.
I'm applying the handbrake to hold myself back. And so I become held back and limited in the way that I'm operating in life.
So true. And, the thing about confident people, they don't really have much of a need of a handbrake. When their confident self is switched on and fully activated, like nothing really stops them from moving forward or going for it. They're not sabotaging themselves with that inner dialogue of self-doubt. They just don't.
Yeah, it's really true. And the same applies for all of us. When our natural state of self-confidence is fully switched on and activated, nothing can stop us from moving forward and living our full potential. And we just need to stop pulling on the handbrake of self-doubt to hold ourselves back and sabotage ourselves, And the best example I can think of, one that is a universal example, is when we're babies and we're learning how to walk. As babies, we have a natural sense of curiosity and a desire to learn and to grow and explore the world. And we'll give anything a go, right? We'll shove dirt in our mouth. We'll,
oh my God, eat sand,
tug on someone's hair. We'll snatch back that toy the other baby stole from us. We're big and we're bold and we don't hesitate to give things a go because we haven't been conditioned by this energy of self-doubt yet, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So we see, the other people in our world walking around on two legs and what do? We don't sit there doubting ourselves and questioning whether or not we're big enough or strong enough or capable enough or smart enough to learn how to walk. We just get right in there and give it a go.
Absolutely.
We pull ourselves up and we fall down again and we pull ourselves up again and we learn how to use our arms to pull ourselves up even more and we learn how to strengthen our legs. And every time we get back up again, we give it another go and we learn from what worked before and we strengthen our thigh muscles and our calf muscles and we grow and, we develop our fine tune of balance, those balance receptors in our ears, and we get even better and stronger at it and we strengthen our core. And even though we keep falling over and bumping into things and bruising ourselves, we just keep learning from our experiences until one day, the magic happens and we take a few steps across the room and everyone cheers for us and we reach that point in our learning where we're able to master the skill of being able to walk.
Oh my God, that is like the perfect example, because at no point as babies did we sit there saying, oh no, that hurt. I'm never going to try that again. Like, we just never did that. It was like, no, we kept our eyes on where we were heading and went for it. And in the doing of it, we proved to ourselves that we can walk and that we never even stopped to doubt ourselves at all. Like, it doesn't even come into the equation of it, right?
Yeah. and we lose sight of that as adults and become conditioned to have this energy of self-doubt, this shadow. You know, there's an expression, without a shadow of a doubt. When we doubt ourselves, there's this shadow that kind of creeps in and takes over things and dims our light, the natural, joy-filled, radiant light that we have that is our natural confident self. And so as adults, we have to work a lot harder at strengthening our self-confidence, because quite often we're operating with that shadow of a doubt there. So we have a really simple way to do that as adults. It's really simple that we want to share with you today. Because if you want to change your habit of self-doubt, if that's something that you recognize is operating in your life, and you want to turn it around to create a new feeling of feeling more confident within yourself, then to keep it really simple, there's only one thing you really need to do. And that's this. You need to be willing to remind yourself that you are willing, able, and capable of learning. You just need to remind yourself that you're willing, able, and capable of giving things a try and learning in the process. And even if it doesn't happen overnight, to trust that it will happen. That you will be able to learn whatever it is you need to learn in order for you to feel more confident within yourself to move forward and learn and grow and expand in whatever ways you're wanting to expand your life. Just that one thing, remembering you are capable of learning. And the kind of the partner to that is you also need to be willing to turn your stories around. So Danielle, you mentioned, whether you think you can or you think you can't, either way, you're right. Every time you tell yourself, I can, rather than you can't, you create a new story and you activate your inner power of self-confidence and strengthen your inner sense of self. So we've got to be willing to turn our stories around and to catch ourselves the moment we start thinking or saying out loud, I can't do this. There's no way I could do that. I can't, that's not possible for me. Confidence makes the impossible into the I'm possible. So we need to turn our stories around. And every time you tell yourself, you know what, I can give this a try. I can learn how to take the next step. And if it doesn't work out, I'll learn something from the experience. I'll get up and I'll try it again. Every time we do that for ourselves, we strengthen our self-confidence. And just like you guys did on the hike last weekend, and that must have been, strengthening your self-talk and your confidence one step at a time.
Yeah.
And just like all of us did when we were learning to walk as babies, and just like all of us have done with anything we've become confident within ourselves and our life, we became confident by stepping forward with an attitude of, I can give this a go, and I am willing to learn how to become better at it with every step that I take.
So true.
And, if you can learn new things, then you will, without a shadow of a doubt, be able to activate your inner power of self-confidence no matter what. You'll be able to become a more confident version of yourself, because being able to do things doesn't come from knowing everything in advance. It comes from, as you said at the start of this conversation, Danielle, it comes from the willingness to give things a go and learn along the way until eventually it becomes second nature to you and you become more capable and confident in your abilities.
Yeah, and it makes me think about that fake it till you make it strategy. Fake it till you make it. It's actually powerful. And every time we fake it, we're taking another step forward, right? We're practicing, we're integrating, we're learning, and we're building the muscles of confidence. The magic is you don't have to know how to do everything before you start. I think that's a lot of the trap we all face is we think that we need to know everything before we start, but we just need to be willing to start, to take one step, learn as you go, and keep backing yourself. That's how you grow confidence. Trust yourself and become the version of you who can handle anything that life throws at you.
True, really true.
When I reassure myself that I can give things a go, that I can learn new things, that I can pick myself up and learn from my experiences, and that anything is possible for me going forward from here, one step at a time, it really elevates my level of self-confidence and makes me feel more empowered within myself. And one of the other things I do to really strengthen my energy and to activate my inner power of confidence, which I think is really powerful and effective that we haven't talked about yet, is that I use my physical body, because confidence isn't just a thought. It's an energy that we embody. And you can use your physical body to really level up and activate your inner power of self-confidence. So I'd really love us to embody the energy together now. This is something that you can do anytime, almost anywhere. You can do it on your own or with your children or friends or at work with your team, wherever you are. And if it's safe to do so, I invite you to stand up and plant your feet firmly on the ground, hip width apart. And I want you just to roll your shoulders back and open your chest like you're literally taking up more space in the room. And now just relax your jaw, lift your chin up slightly, and place your hands on your hips like this is your power stance. And take a slow, deep breath in through your nose. Hold it at the top. And then really blow it all out through your mouth. And just feel how your body shifted. It feels a whole lot stronger and confident now, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I can feel it.
Yeah, and that is the energy of confidence right there. And it's your Superman or Superwoman pose. It's that power stance. And now, as you hold this pose, I want you to say the following mantra with me. I am confident. I am powerful. I totally trust myself. I express my truth. I am now shining my light. Every step I take builds my confidence, expands my potential, and levels up my life. And now take another deep breath in and let it out. And now release your arms by your side while you keep that strong, confident, power-filled energy flowing within you, because this is what standing in your confident self truly feels like.
I love that power stance. Even I'm sitting here because we're recording, but, hands on the hip and chest open and take those deep breaths in and let everything else go. It just feels super, super powerful.
Yeah,
I love
really
it. Thank you
does.
so much.
But what about those moments when you're feeling really good within yourself and then something happens in life that really knocks your level of self-confidence. And you start to really question and doubt yourself. Because when you've had a blow to your confidence level, it can feel really hard at times to get yourself back up again. How do you stop that from happening?
Yeah, that's true. You know, we can have a general sense of self-confidence, but then, you know, shit happens in life.
Yeah.
And that can sometimes, you know, when they're really big, significant moments in life, it can really knock our self-confidence off balance and off kilter. So for me, that comes back to what we spoke about in our episode on facing challenges in life. You know, we can't actually stop the challenges from happening, from showing up in life, because that's the way we grow and become even more confident in our abilities and to be able to cope in life and handle what life brings. But we can always look at and look for the lessons and the blessings and the opportunities to learn and grow more that are actually hidden within the challenges. So, you know, to not be frightened of those challenges, even when it knocks the wind out of our sail and causes us to lose confidence within ourselves. If that happens, then, you know, there's something more significant about ourselves that we're doubting about who we are, or there can be something that we're doubting about the world we live in that's causing us to remain stuck in that loss of self-confidence. So that the doubt that we're dealing with when we really get knocked about and we feel like we lose our self-confidence is kind of a different kind of energy. And, you know, as we're talking about this, I'm thinking there's so much more here in this question. How do you cope when you really lose your sense of self-confidence? Like, you know, what happens when you get fired from a job you love, or you get dumped by someone you think is the love of your life, or when your business fails, or, you know, you're faced with the challenges of aging and you lose confidence in your appearance and your ability to function in the ways that you used to. You know, how do you rebuild your self-confidence again when you've experienced these really significant hits in life that have completely, you know, shattered your sense of self-confidence? And what I'm realizing as we're talking about this now, Danielle, is there's two kind of aspects of self-confidence here. As you're listening, you might be thinking about, how do I become more confident as a person and strengthen my level of self-confidence within myself? And you might also be thinking about, well, what about those situations where I need to really rebuild my sense of self-confidence when it's taken a really big hit? And I actually think there's so much more here to this, the second question, Danielle, that why don't we make this a 2-part episode and dive into how to answer that second question next week?
I think that that's an awesome idea, because as you were saying all of those examples about when we get knocked, it just made, oh my gosh, my whole memory started fluttering of everything that's happened in my life where my confidence has been absolutely destroyed. Because you're right, sometimes our self-confidence can really take a hard hit and can cause us to really turn away from life and feel like we're not going to be able to do anything about it. So let's dive into those types of scenarios and how to deal with them next week. I think that's an awesome idea, and I think that can help a lot of people.
We hope this conversation has sparked something inside of you to really trust yourself more deeply and step into that next level of confidence. And if you enjoyed today's episode, or even just had one aha moment that landed for you, share the episode with someone you know who might need a boost of confidence right now. You know, pop it in your group chat, send it to that friend who's been doubting themselves lately, or share it to your stories so more people can feel this energy too. And of course, hit the follow button wherever you're listening so you don't miss part 2 of this episode, because we're really going to dive into how to level up your self-confidence even more. We've got so much goodness coming your way and we don't want you to miss a thing.